I'm here to present to you, introduce you some basic concepts about AI and their use in the context of learning and learning technology. So how AI can support and improve learning technologies. And I'll also show you some actual benefits that we experienced with one of our largest clients that decided to use our technologies and in particular AI for translation. So let me give you some details about my company. Exact Learning Solution is one of the leading global LCMS provider. For those who doesn't know LCMS, what LCMS does mean, it's a learning content management system. It's a learning platform, learning solutions for authoring learning contents based on most common standards like SCORM and API, and also providing digital repository for storing learning materials and providing project management for dealing with workflow and all the tasks that usually you deal with when you create a learning course. And we also have the multiple output delivery, which is used for creating the course just one and deliver that to multiple channels like web or mobile or tablet. We are here also to present some new developments. One of those is the use of AI for the automatic translation, which is part of my speech today, and demonstrating also the stand if you like to visit us later. So this is the agenda of my presentation, of my speech today. So we'll deal with a short introduction of AI, and I will focus also the importance of AI as a service, and then I will present you some practical applications of AI when we are talking about learning technologies and learning systems, in particular how AI can support tutoring, how AI can support discovery or delivery or development or the development of learning materials. I will close my presentation with a practical example, a use case, what I mentioned earlier about how a big client using the AI for improving their translation processes. So for those who doesn't have a clear idea what AI is, because I joined the first keynote this morning, and David said there is no a clear definition of AI. Actually, I found this definition, which is quite appropriate in my view, and it says the artificial intelligence is a simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, and in particular by computers. And these processes include learning, the acquisition of information and rules for using such kind of information that you collected, reasoning, rules that helps you the machine to arrive to a conclusion, and last but not least, the self-correction. So the possibility of the AI systems to learn by themselves and improve their results. Why we are now talking about artificial intelligence? So most of you knows that artificial intelligence is an argument which is not new. Probably we all heard about artificial intelligence since many years ago, but at that time when artificial intelligence was presented, the technology was not ready. The powerful was not enough, and especially it required a sort of knowledge to integrate the algorithms, the AI algorithms, and their related tools in the existing systems. And that required a very specific and deep knowledge about AI and also programming software. Now we are in a situation of the explosion of AI as a service. There are a lot of service providers of AI, I can mention some. There is Google, which provides AI services for automatic video recognition, image recognition, speech translation. The same is provided by Amazon and also by Microsoft. Also, Microsoft is offering a lot of services based on the artificial intelligence algorithms, and and that makes very easy the integration of such kind of services in existing tools like ours, for example, the learning content management system or the learning systems. The study of McKinsey shows a growing interest in AI. In particular, there are some leading sectors where AI is considered more important and for the next 3 years. The education sector, as you can see in this graph, is in the middle, so it's not one of the leading sector where we expect to have this big growth of AI usage. But since in education you mostly use technologies developed in other sectors, we can expect also some improvements also in the learning system using AI. We most of us are already using AI in everyday life. If you are using Amazon, if you are using Google, you are already using AI. When you translate something using Google Translator, you are already using AI. When you search something on Amazon, you are already using AI because, for example, Amazon provides you suggestion regarding other stuff based on your previous researches and interest, and this is basically based on AI algorithms. The concept of using artificial intelligence in education is something quite new, but is getting more applied, and I will present to you why this is important to use such kind of tools also in AI in learning systems, because you know that one of the biggest obstacle for e-learning is the cost for the content production. In literature, you can find that for the production of 1 hour of learning course, you may spend between 50 to 100 hours of work just for creating 1 hour of e-learning course. And the cost for 1 hour of learning course is about 10,000 euros just for 1 hour. So having one technology that can prove or that can cut the costs for the content development and reduce the time you need for such kind of implementation and course development is, of course, something that you might be found interesting. And that's exactly what AI aims to do. So supporting e-learning systems in cutting the costs and cutting the time for doing some activities that you normally do. And more specifically, I already mentioned at the beginning, there are some applications where AI can really provide an help. The first one is tutoring, so having a virtual coach. The second is supporting learners in discovering and retrieving learning materials. The third one is the support provided to the delivery of learning materials, and the last one is improving the content developments. And I will go through each of them. So a typical example of AI usage as a support of tutoring is the real-time questioning. So in that case, AI systems processes in real time the queries and questions coming from the learners, from the students, about the course, about the certification, about the badges, about anything that concerns a particular course material. And AI can elaborate such kind of queries and provide in real time an answer. That replaces the human, if you like, that replaces the human tutor, who is not always available to answer in a real time, and in this case, having what is called the chatbot answering immediately to the user, to the learner regarding the course, can of course save time and also costs of the human tutor. Another important application of AI supporting the discovery of learning materials is the recommendation system. In that case, the AI-based recommendation engine processes some data collected regarding the learner, and use such kind of analytics in order to recommend things. For example, that can be used for recommending additional materials, or can be used for recommending other courses to follow. And this can be done not only by analyzing the learner's data, but also the behavior of other users that experience similar materials. For example, having colleagues or other students that were asking for some specific materials which are considered similar as a topic to the one I'm experiencing, and so that the recommended system tells me, okay, you may be interested also in this course. If you like, it's very similar like Amazon does for their products. And the principle is exactly the same. So the learner is analyzed, the behavior of the learner is analyzed, and then it is used for suggesting alternative materials. A study from Brandon Hall shows the importance for learning organization in implementing some sort of recommendation. So they said that for them, at least for this organization, the 57%, more than half of them, find the recommendation system having high impact on their work and learning processes. Another potential application of AI is in supporting of adaptive learning and personalization. Again, it's based on data collected from the users. So again, the users is tracked in terms of what it did in the past, what are his interests, and also his curriculum, for example. And using such kind of information, the AI algorithms can elaborate modifications to the actual learning offering and propose new materials, or modify the courses according to the learning pace, or according to the objectives of the single learner. It can be also used for informing the teacher or the tutor about any problem or difficulties in comprehension of the current learning offer. Again, Brandon Hall shows the importance of personalization because they say that the 71% of the interviewed learning organization responded that they are quite interested in having system providing personalization, and then find personalization can have a great impact on their learning solutions. This is one of the most interesting, in my view, application of AI, the use of AI for classifying materials. So in that case, the AI supports the extraction of information regarding the material and helps the user to extract those information useful for indexing the material. When you are managing several documents, thousands of documents, materials that you believe are useful for helping you in developing new courses. For example, you upload in your digital repository images, videos, documents, PDF, or slides that you believe can be useful to repurpose and use for creating new material. You have to specify some basic information about these materials. Essentially, you have to tag those materials to define which are the metadata that are representative of these materials. And if you can apply this situation to thousands of materials, you can imagine how important and which kind of help the AI can give you, because in that way, the AI algorithms are able to extract information that characterize the materials automatically. For example, if you are uploading images, they can be contextualized, they can be the AI tools can extract information regarding the environment depicted in the images and tag the material automatically. And that is one of the most important applications, because when you consider thousands of materials, you can also imagine how much time you can save using such application. The AI also is also used for analyzing existing materials and extract information in order to repurpose the existing materials. There are some applications where large materials like textbooks are elaborated, and the AI system returns the some smaller chunks of that material, like for example chapters, paragraphs, or images extracted automatically from that large material that can be reused and repurposed. Examples are flashcards or the automatic generation of multiple choice questions regarding the current larger document that you wanted to elaborate. Again, some statistics about the importance of repurposing and content shrinking. Again, from Brandon Hall, more than half of the interview company shown interest, definitely on having this possibility of the automatic shrinking of large documents and transform them in a smaller piece of information. Last but not least, the use of AI for the automatic translation. We all use Google Translator. Let's consider the Google Translator embedded in your system. So how can use that. Can be used for the automatic language detection, and also for personalizing your translations. And I will present you in more detail the interesting use case of our large client asking us how they could improve their translation processes. The scenario was the following. This is a very large organization, one of the Fortune 100 company, and it's a global organization, and they have offices in around the world. So they had the need to translate their documents in 29 different languages, including different character sets. And they told us they prepare every year just one course for their global sales, and they spend 6 months for preparing this course, and other 6 months for translating this course in the 29 different languages. So they asked us how we can reduce this time and how we can cut the costs for such kind of translation process. The solution we proposed to them was, okay, there are service providers of AI for the automatic translation. Why don't we use them? Why don't we integrate those services in the platform that you are using for creating your learning courses and for translating your learning courses? And this is exactly what we have done. So we have chosen the cognitive services provided by Windows. These are external services, so you pay just for the usage. And we use the APIs provided by Microsoft for integrating such tools in our solution. And with this simple operation, we allowed our client to pass from 6 months for the translation in the 29 languages to 1 month. So we reduced the time they spent for their translation processes for more than 80%. And at the same time, since everything was integrated in our platform, we supported also the creation of the learning material, having everything centralized in one single place, allowing them to reduce also the costs of the content creation. So the result was reducing the time needed for the translation of about 80%, so passing from 6 months to 1 month, and also a cost reduction between the 30% and 50% for the course production. What makes our translator special? As I already mentioned, we are not implementing our own algorithms, AI algorithms. It doesn't make any sense because there are Google, Microsoft, Amazon doing that for us. Definitely better, probably. But we integrated such services in our platform. And together with other facilities, for example, the project management. So when you want to translate one material in 29 different languages, you have to control the full process accurately. And we do that by using a project management which define who is responsible for doing what. And it's also used to supervise the entire process for the creation of the master version of the document until the very end, which is the approved version of the document translated. Not only, since no one is expecting the AI is working perfectly, there's also the possibility of downloaded what you translated automatically using the AI in a standardized format. Maybe you are aware of the XLEAF standard for the document translation, which is the standard the translation agency usually requires. So what we do is use of the AI translation engine for the automatic translation. Then the result is downloaded as a XLEAF and passed to the translation agencies just for checking the quality of the translation. But please consider that such kind of service based on neural networks guarantees about and I'm not the one saying that, it's a study by some university, guarantees an accuracy of about 70 to 80%. So when you use such kind of translation services, you already have a quality about 80%. So the work requested by the translation agency is minimal. So very quickly,
so I've uploaded a PowerPoint
we can see
to
how
digital repository.
it works in.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the localization process.
In a practical manner. So
I'm going to select my master language.
It just requires to upload the master document.
That I want the document
for
to be
example,
to. So for this one, I'm going to choose
in English,
Italian.
and you want to
you can
translate
choose as many
it in
variations
Italian.
as you like.
So
I'm going to create the localization job.
In that case, you start the localization process. You have the master on your left-hand side, and the copy of the original document. And then you have the possibility of launching the automatic translation, which is just clicking a button. So please translate this document, this English document,
I'm going to go to view in the translated document and make sure everything's translated
Italian,
correctly.
And that's done in real time. This is a simple example of some
you can see that the format
slides,
of the text is
but
maintained through the translation.
You can do that with textual document, Word documents,
so let's say
PDF
that I want to send these documents out to a localization company.
With learning objects.
I could do so by downloading.
Also,
and what we're going to do is create an XLEAF package.
At the end of the process, you can
so with this XLEAF package, it will contain the master document and the variation document, so that then whenever the translation company localizes these documents, they can just replace it.
So just to conclude.
So I've uploaded a PowerPoint.
So AI and machine learning are not complete solutions. So there are some margins of improvements, as we are all aware of. But of course, if properly used in learning system, can support you in cutting costs and times, and especially in content production. And also, as I just show in translation of documents. The key aspect of AI is data, because AI is based on a training set. So the larger and meaningful is your training set, at the best, and the better will be the results of the AI applications. Just consider the example of the translation. In order to train the AI-based translator, you have to prepare documents with 10,000 sentences in there. So when you have prepared such kind of training set, you give the training set to the AI engine, and from there, the AI application starts to translate based on your examples, and learns from any document you translated. So the system improves the quality of translation and the services that it provides day after day, using not only the training set, but also the results of his own process. That's it. Thank you for joining us. If you want to have more details, especially regarding the AI usage for the automatic translation, we are the stand number 43. Please feel free to visit us. Or if you have any question, I think we still have some minutes. Yes, confirmed. So please feel free to ask.